So I caught a certain piece of news today. I thought I should share it with you. It has to do with CarMax's information that they've been compiling about the sales of used cars. And I think this has got tremendous applications to all aspects of Tesla's business. So this is Randy Kirk. If this is useful information, please like, subscribe, notify, all that jazz. And then obviously I could use more people on Patreon. And thank you to all those who are currently following me on Patreon. All right. Number one, search volume for terms containing electric on CarMax doubled from February 22 to February 23. Now that's a huge impact. Talking about a doubling. Now, Tesla's goal is to increase sales by an average of 50% per year. The overall market in the United States is increasing something a little less than 50% per year. That is certainly what the necessary increase needs to be for the next several years in order to hit a level where ICE cars will be completely eliminated by my goal of 2027, end of 2027. So, a doubling in 1 year of interest in used electric cars is substantial. Next content here is the top 5 most popular electric vehicles at CarMax were the Tesla Model 3, Tesla Model Y, then the Nissan Leaf, then the Ford Mustang, and then the Chevrolet Bolt, which is being discontinued. That's no surprise that the Teslas would be at the very top. Kind of interesting that the Model 3 is higher than the Tesla Model Y in terms of used car interest. Thought that was very interesting. I'm not sure how to analyze this at this point. Maybe in the comments below, you could give me your thinking. Is it because it's been out longer? More people might be aware of it. Is it because it's probably a lower cost? What do you think about that? All right. From September 1, 2022 to February 28, 2023, SUVs were the most common vehicle type traded in for electric vehicles, while Toyota was the most traded in brand for EVs. So Toyota, the most traded in brand. That's not a good sign, Toyota. Now, again, maybe it's because there's a lot of Toyotas out there, but that was pretty significant. SUVs, no shock there. I don't think that's a surprise. From September to February, those who were looking for a Tesla Model 3, most commonly, they were going to trade in a Honda Civic or a Toyota Tacoma, which is a little surprising. The Tacoma is not really in the same group. All right, let's see here. Consumer interest. To understand used car shopper interest in used EVs over time, we looked at the search volume for the term electric. Our analysts first noticed a large spike in February of last year. According to the U.S. Information Administration, this was about the same time that the average gas prices increased from $3.54 all the way to $4.20. So that would make sense of why there would be an increase at that time. But now, with search volumes for terms containing electric on CarMax this time last year, it's showing that 5.6% of all searches on CarMax use the term electric. It's a strong signal that consumer interest in used EVs has continued to grow. So now they come down and they took a look at which EVs customers are buying the most. The data was really clear, and it also shows the pricing. So Tesla Model 3, then Tesla Model Y, and then you see the others going down eventually to the Tesla Model S and the Tesla Model X. Those are the most popular cars on CarMax for trade-in, for the cars that people are looking to buy. Then they looked for trends in vehicle types and specific brands that used car shoppers were trading in when they made a switch specifically to an EV. Now, first of all, the most common type was an SUV. So people were trading in their SUVs, potentially for other SUVs, but then they were trading in their sedans, luxury vehicles, pickup trucks, etc. So that was fairly interesting, but this is really interesting. The top traded in brands, Toyota at the top of the list. Now, they sell a lot of cars in this country and have sold a lot of cars in the United States for a very long time. So that's not terribly surprising. BMW, which is a fairly small player, they're coming in at number 2. Ford, not maybe so surprising. Honda, internationally a small player, fairly big player in the United States. But then you start to see a big player like Chevrolet is way down the list in terms of people trading in for an EV. So number one, that's not good news and not a good look for Toyota. Don't fully know how to analyze that. Again, in your comments below, what do you think that means? What do you think that we should read into the order of what people are trading in? So then they went and they took a look at where are EVs popular in the country. Look at this. This is crazy. This is only what, 5 states are EVs a big deal. So all in the West, of course, Washington, Nevada, Oregon, and Arizona. Anyway, you can see what they are. Washington moved to 2nd place. Nevada replaced Utah for 3rd. They have additional tax incentives in some of these states, but man, I would not have guessed it was this lopsided to the left coast. Okay, and then notably, the Inflation Reduction Act has created a $4,000 deal for certain purchasers on used cars. We tend to forget that. There's a $4,000 incentive when you buy a used car. So not just a $7,500 one on new, but $4,000 on used, as long as the car sales price does not exceed $25,000, which would maybe be the reason why Model 3 is so much more popular. At the other end of the spectrum, the states with the least EV sales at CarMax from September through February were Mississippi, Alabama, Kentucky, South Carolina, and Tennessee. That is not terribly surprising, but if you really look at it, it is the entire rest of the United States. And this would be something that we know in our heart that the rest of the country is not buying EVs like the West is, but wow, this is a pretty big deal. So just thought I'd throw that up there. I think it's useful. If you thought it was useful, please hit the like button now. If you failed to earlier, subscribe, hit the notify button. We've got a lot of great shows coming up, including Brian White is going to be coming to us live from England, where he is going to be attending the Fully Charged show. And so maybe there'll be some new electric cars or new other issues with regard to electric cars that are being shown at that show. I know when I attended last year in San Diego, there was a number of interesting booths. We'll see what Brian has been able to find. That'll be on Saturday morning. But if you hit the notify button, then you'll get a reminder to check out that show. And of course, always looking for more folks to join Patreon. Thank you so much. And this is, it's been great talking to you.